Welcome to Handknit Goodies. I'm Keisha.
And I'm Gabie. Gabie's Goodies on Instagram and Ravelry.
And I'm 7 Handknits on Instagram.
And we are knitting friends.
Yes, we are.
All right, you want to start with your golden goodie?
Yeah, I have a golden goodie to share. This is a golden goodie from Christmas. I knitted this last December on Christmas Eve. It was one of those busy Christmas Eves that I was multitasking, and I was cooking and baking and knitting, which is like...
That's a lot.
Yeah. Like I timed it, like when I put something in the oven, like I can knit for 15 minutes. So I made this hat for my daughter. She requested, she's a huge strawberry shortcake fan, and she requested like a cupcake cakey hat. And I didn't want to make it an actual like cupcake hat. So what I did was the previous week I went out and bought some yarn, and I got some sparkly yarn, and I had it already. So I came up with this. I just sort of freestyled. I do that sometimes.
I love that. Can I show it? I want y'all to see the sparkles on this. It's so cute.
And she loves it. And I wanted to make it wide for her because she will never wear earmuffs. And you know, this past winter was kind of cold.
It was.
So she wears it down over her ears, and I even sewed in my little tag with my little message on it.
That's so sweet.
Yep. I love this.
I love that. I hope y'all can see the sparkles in this because it totally sparkles. Gold up here, and then silver sparkles down here. It's adorable.
And I used some yarn. I think I know this silver yarn is blended with Gray Heather by Karen Simply Soft. And because it's a thinner yarn, I think it was like a wool polyester blend or something. I didn't know I was going to be podcasting, so I didn't save my yarn wrappers. But I blended it, held 2 strands together, and the sparkly one is by Patterns, and then the gray is by Karen Simply Soft, and all of the other yarns are by Karen Simply Soft. So I got pink and sparkly brown and sparkly cream and solid cream, and so that's it.
And if you heard the door open, that was my daughter trying to come in, and I told her to go back. I homeschool my kids, so they're here all the time, except for all of our outings where we're gone.
They're the cutest live audience, though. They're the cutest, the best live audience. Them and the puppy.
Yes, as long as they don't actually come in and make too much noise. So if they interrupt, I apologize.
Do you have a golden goodie to share?
Yes, what I'm wearing.
Okay.
This, let's see, is a pattern by Quince and Company, and I looked it up right before we sat down. I made it last spring, I believe it was, for last summer, and it is their Linen Noir collection. Deschain? Is that how we decided to call it? Deschain. D-E-S-C-H-A-I-N is the name of this particular pattern. And I made it out of knit picks. This is my newest collection of our family. He's our newest little family member. This is Wookie.
Oh, he's so cute.
But back to the knitting, Wookie. So I made it out of Knit Picks Lindy Chain, which is about 70% linen and 30% cotton. The pattern calls for, I think it's Kestrel by Quince and Company, and that's a worsted weight yarn. But the Lindy Chain is a fingering weight, so I just held it double, and that totally worked. One thing I love about this pattern is that it's really, the drape of it is really nice. My other modification other than the yarn was the back. I added a few short rows because it, in the comments that people were writing about the pattern, it kind of came up some in the back. And even with the couple of short rows that I added, I still feel like it comes up a little bit in the back, probably more than I would like. So if I had to do it again, I'd add a few more short rows in the back. But other than that, I love this. It's very breezy and lightweight, and it's kind of boxy.
So cute.
There's no shaping, and it's really wide. And then the lace pattern, you can see it in here. The lace pattern's really pretty in the front, and it's just a panel, and it makes it kind of scoop in the front, which I think is pretty. It is knit in pieces, front and back, and seamed together, and then the sleeves you pick up and you knit in the round down. And there's nothing special in the end of the sleeves. It's just bound up.
I love the details.
Yeah, I like the lace down the front. I think that's fun.
Yes,
So
really, really elegant. I think it looks
Thank
elegant.
you. Thank you. I am typically a neutral person, so I liked the black. I don't have any other finished objects.
Oh, you don't?
No.
I
Do you have
have my other sock from the previous video. So now I've got two. I don't know why I did that accent. I'm sorry. It's my attempt at being British. But anyway, I have two socks. Yay, I finished them and they feel good and they're cozy just like I wanted them. And I like them and I can't wait to knit another pair, which I do have as a whip, but I didn't, you know. They're
You've
like,
started another pair of socks?
Yeah. But you know, they're nothing. They're just a cuff, so no point in showing them.
What color are they going to be?
They're going to be brown tweed and cream tweed, and it reminded me of coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, like a latte.
That would be. That sounds really nice. I can't wait to see them next time.
But I love how these turned out. They just look so. They're so cozy. I think they're just my favorite thing I've knitted in the past month.
Really?
Oh. Yeah. And then I have this cuff. I talked about doing this cuff.
Yes, last
In
time.
the last video. Well, maybe I should put it on this arm. Okay, I have on my watch, but I'll just cover it. And
That is so cute.
I know that, sorry, is that close enough?
I'll get a little closer
Okay.
so you can just see the lace. There you go. That's really pretty.
I like it, and I don't know what this yarn is. I found it in my stash.
Is that what you held double with the cream to make it gold?
I wonder if I did. It looks like I did.
Yeah, it looks similar.
You know, when I went and shopped for yarn during the holidays, I saw these sparkly yarns and I just picked up a bunch of them. So anyway, I used this yarn. I know in the last video I said that I would use the same color as the headband that I did. I knitted a headband in the Bryce Canyon color from Lion brand.
It was like a honey wheat type color.
It was like a honey wheat, beautiful golden honey wheat color. And I did complete the headband. I don't have it to show, but I do have pictures on Instagram. And so I used this yarn instead because I was gonna knit it the same color, but I thought as I was doing it, I just didn't think it looked right. So I thought this was better, and it already had sparkles in it, and I was thinking about adding beads. Then I realized, well, this has everything I need in it, so it's just perfect, and I was glad I found it.
And
I
this
wish I knew what it was
is
called, but I don't.
this is a fingering weight, I believe. It's
It
definitely
does feel
a
like a
thinner weight than that honey wheat one that you had last time.
Oh,
so
definitely. Yeah.
Maybe that's why it looks better in the cuff. It being a little thinner, a little more delicate.
Yep, that's
So it's not as
exactly right.
chunky.
And that's why when I found this and I felt it, I was like, oh, I wish I had the label so I could remember what it is so I can rebuy it. But I really do believe it's patent. I got it at Joann Fabrics, and you know they have so many brands there, as you can guess. You know.
Yeah. It's really cute.
Thanks.
I love it. And that was from your book that we showed on the last
Knockout
podcast.
Knits by Lauren Nelkin, and I hope I said her last name right. If I did
Does
not,
that
I'm
have a
very
name?
sorry.
The cuff.
The cuff is called the Gateway Cuff.
Nice.
And the reason she calls it that is because it's designed to introduce knitters who are afraid of lace, or not afraid of it, but who haven't knitted lace yet, for them to
Have a short and sweet project, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. I like how you complete my thoughts.
Because that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
because you.
It is very gratifying to just kind of. This was a fun knit. Now, I did use I used very tiny thin needles. They were like 2.25. And there are a few like knit 3 togethers and SSKs in this pattern. And it just caused a little bit of cramping, which is why I'm glad that I used such a light yarn, because that made it
and a stretchy
easier.
yarn too.
But when I soaked my hands and I did like those little exercises, you know, those hand exercises, like you got jazz hands, I felt better. I mean, you know, so I wasn't in pain knitting this, but I did have a moment where I was like, yikes, this hurts. But it stopped hurting, and I continue to enjoy knitting this, and it's fun and it's cute, and it's an accessory. So it is a nice, gratifying, quick knit for anyone who has never knitted lace and you're a new knitter. I mean, I'm not a new knitter, but I've never knitted a cuff before, so I like knitting things that is new that I haven't, you know, tried before. Because
And my girls, I think, would love those.
Yeah, and
They
I
look
think
cute.
it looks cute to just like wear it, but also like little girls just wanting something to play with, you know, and have on their
I think it's
wrist.
adorable. I love it.
Yeah.
Especially in the sparkles.
I think I'm so glad I found
I
this
really
sparkle
did it.
yarn, because I really think it gave it a nice touch.
Yeah.
So that's it for my finished objects.
All
How about
right.
you? Oh, you say you didn't have any.
This was my only finished object, and it was old. I have a work in progress.
Okay.
See if the puppy's sleeping.
Aww.
This is
Want me to hold him while
sure,
you're
you
here?
can try.
Will he come to me?
He might.
No.
He's only been at our house for a little over a week. We got him a week ago Sunday, so a week and 2 days ago. It's Tuesday now. So my first work in progress is almost a finished object. It is my cotton t-shirt that I'm making and designing. Let's see. It's knit in 2 pieces, and I put it together, seamed it together up the sides and on the shoulders, and then I picked up and knit the 1x1 twisted rib along the neck for the neckline for the collar. And then I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do anything around the sleeves or not. I mean, it looks kind of boxy. It's kind of like a drop shoulder thing. A little longer in the back. I think I'll actually try it on for you guys so you can see how it looks on. I'm excited about it.
It looks so cute.
It's almost done. And it's super soft and cozy, and it has those drop stitches on the bottom that are crossed.
The cotton worked out really great.
It did.
Yeah.
And I like the eyelets. It's simple, but it gives kind of an all-over pattern. So I'm excited about that. So hold on just a minute. I will try it on for you.
It just looks so good.
Okay, I'm back. I have strings hanging out everywhere, but this is what it looks like on. So it looked really boxy when I was holding it up because there's no waist shaping on it, but when you put it on, it's like a drop shoulder style. And I did do some shoulder shaping on it. So it does kind of come down here a little bit. And then, yeah, it's really soft and it lays nicely. And then the front is here, and then the back goes down, so it kind of sits kind of just below the tops of my pockets in the back, so that when I sit down, I don't have to worry about it riding up too high.
Yeah.
So
I love the way that the garter border highlights that design.
thank you. I haven't blocked it or anything, but it's in the cotton. It's just so comfy, and I think with the eyelets, it'll give it even more breathability. So yeah, I don't know if I necessarily need to do anything with the sleeves. It kind of rolls under naturally, and I don't know if it needs anything else. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, maybe if you
I of course have to weave in all
be
my
left
ends.
open for, I don't know, maybe a little ribbing edge.
Yeah, I might try ribbing on one of them and see how I like it, and then decide. But my second work in progress Here, Keisha, if you would like to hold these for me. I know last time you tried to hold them and I didn't realize it until it was too late.
I could be of use.
Those are my other two colors. I am on my third color of this shawl that I started. When did I start this? Not that long, a couple weeks ago. So these are the next three colors in it. This is the one I'm working on now. This speckled one was for my Sunset Highway, and this one is the most gray. Okay? And then this is the shawl in progress. So it's got a very simple lace right here at the very edge, and this one it has a little more interest to it. This lace right here. So you have to pay attention on the lace when you get to that, but the rest of it is garter. And it's just knit from this corner, and it's knit sideways out, and this is all garter, and you increase only on the one side. And then when you get until you have about 6 lengths or 6 widths of yarn left in your ball, that's when you transition to your next color. So my goal with this was to use up yarn I just had in my stash, and so I'm just kind of using it up till it's gone, and then I'm switching to the next color, and that's working pretty well. I found out if I stretched the yarn that I had left back and forth 6 times, then I had plenty of yarn to stripe it the next color in, and then do one more stripe of that yarn I was working on. So I like it. I'm excited about it, and I've never knit anything, a shawl quite like this, which is always fun. And the garter is just relaxing, but then the lace keeps me interested. Yeah. And then the color change is also quite exciting. So I'm super excited about this. And I finally got smart, and I stopped carrying my Japanese knitting stitch Bible around, and I just copied the one page that I actually needed. It took me a while to get smart with that. This, I don't know if you all have seen these at all. This is a like a chart helper, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. Saver spot.
Yeah, it has magnet. I'll get that in a second. Puppy just stole my yarn. It has a magnet, so it can clip over the spot, and you just move it up in your pattern. The puppy has taken my yarn.
Yeah, I'm gonna release that to you.
Thank you. Not to you, puppy. So that's it for my works in progress. What are you working on, Keisha?
Okay, so I don't know if I forgot about that color, but it's so funny. I think like we are thinking alike because
oh yes,
I have a whip. This is my summer hat. This is my summer hat. This is Country Grape by Karen Simply Soft.
Okay.
And you know, I don't know what else to say. This is my spring summer hat. I know I said that I don't knit hats for myself, so this will be my first one that I've knitted for myself. This is my own design. I just did this myself. I was freestyling. Again, I freestyled this. I do have notes, and it just it's kind of like in every third row I kind of do something along the lines of making it breezy. The idea is to make it breezy and springy, and I know it looks small, but it's not. Like it
they stretch.
Yeah, they stretch. And I did 2 swatches because I didn't know how I was going to design it, so I did 2 swatches, and I like this design I came up with, and I'm really enjoying knitting this. I'm probably almost done. I just want to do a little bit more and increase at the top because I do want to make it a little bit more slouchy, just for options of how I want to wear it. But I haven't named it yet.
Yeah, you'll have to come up with a name. I haven't named this yet either.
Yeah.
I have to figure that one out.
Yeah, so that's it.
So can y'all see, it looks a little bit like a mixture of texture and lace.
And that's what I'm doing, playing around with lace and texture. And
I mean, it's not exactly bobbles, but it's got like little bumps and holes. It's cute.
And what I want to do is probably this. I think that I should entertain writing a pattern for this.
Yes,
I think this is a good first start for trying to write a pattern. Not that I'm like really trying to foray into pattern writing, but I do like to do a lot of my own designs. So, like with the headband, I designed it myself, and I really like it. And then I'm gonna knit some more, just to have different versions of the same headband. And with this hat, I'll probably knit up a couple more. I might do like a winter version. I know I was thinking about the winter version being cabled, so I'll see what I come up with. Like
I
a
like
wavy,
cables in
twisted
winter.
cable or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it now. You know, it's so funny how the creative process is because. Okay, so I'll talk about when I was knitting my headband. So in the last video when I was talking about my headband, I was saying that I had started it off at the band part of it and I started doing increases. So when I started working more with it and knitting the part that goes over your head, I completely changed my mind. I still did the same 25 stitch design, but I completely ripped it back and started something completely different. And so if you follow me on Instagram, not that I'm trying to plug myself, but if you see the headband, I do have pictures of it on Instagram. I'm sorry I don't have it with me. Anyway,
I'll make sure there's a picture in here somewhere. Probably when you first talked about it.
So I redesigned it is what I was saying. I redesigned the headband. I still did what I was showing in the last video, which is the eyelet lattice insertion sort of design, which I love. I really had fun with that. And so yeah, I redesigned it and I did the band much differently, and I designed it into more of a scarf style headband, which is
you said you were going to tie it and let the ends hang down?
And I did do that.
I
have tassels on it. So I'm in love with that headband and I was wearing it a lot. And okay, one more thing I want to say about that is, as I was thinking about recreating it, now I'm fine with the yarn I used. I used Bryce Canyon Lion brand yarn. It is a little thick, but it's okay with me. Now when I redesign it or re-knit it, I do want to do the headband a little bit more narrow, and I'm going to use a silk yarn that I saw at Hobby Lobby. So I'm just going to pick up
my daughter's coming in.
One skein of that.
Yes. She's come to take the puppy away.
Right. So comfortable in front of the camera. So I was just talking about the creative process and how I thought to myself, you know what, I shouldn't even say anything about how I'm going to design something because I completely changed my mind. So I was thinking, when I'm designing something myself, I'm just not even going to show it until I'm almost done. You know?
No, I think people like to see the design process.
Oh, okay.
Personally, I do. I mean, y'all will have to tell me what you think, but I like to see, kind of like we were talking about failures last time, I like to see the trial and error of the design process.
Yeah.
And the one benefit of doing something small, like a headband versus like a large shawl or a sweater, is that you can rip it back and redo it and redo your design without a whole lot of headache.
Yeah, true.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah,
but I think it's great to talk about it and then to say, yeah, I thought about that and it didn't work out.
I changed my mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Personally, I do. If y'all disagree, please let us know in the comments. But
no, but I love that's my process. I'll say, I'm going to do this. That's going to work out. And I'm like, and as I'm doing it, I'm like, no, I have a different vision. And it's exciting, actually. It's the only time I'm excited to rip something back, by the way, because I can't wait to rework it, you know. So yeah, this is my spring summer hat. And then I'll just knit one more for winter and I'll be done with hats. I mean, that's not a part of my, it's not a part of my 7 hand knits goal.
No, you could combine, that category could be hats and headbands. Or just small accessories.
Yeah, accessories.
Small accessories.
Because, let me reiterate my goal, because you know you get in trouble when you start talking about your goals to people, because it's like, when you're going to start knitting your garment. which I am, but I'm not gonna show it if it's not progressed yet, because it's like, okay, here's some ribbing, I don't want to do that. So, but basically my goal is centered around garments, because I've never knitted myself a sweater besides the one that I knitted for myself. I mean,
the blue one,
yeah,
that you were
I meant to say
out.
the one that I knitted without a pattern. So the goal is, the idea of the goal is to knit by patterns, because I kind of get, I don't know if I'm just rebellious, but I don't follow patterns, So that's why I bought a knitting book, 2 knitting books, because I thought I need to look at patterns, and I don't know, I just think it's good to do both.
I agree. I think it's good to do both. I've knit a number of garments. Garments are my favorite thing to knit because then I can wear them like all the time, and I love that. And it gives me such happiness to wear my hand knit garments or my handmade stuff, period, if it's whether it be sewn or knit or whatever.
Right.
So I love garment knitting. But I think I've learned a lot from knitting other people's designs. I've learned about construction, and I've learned about, where things are increased and decreased and why. Or I've learned that, like the one I was wearing earlier, the black one, I learned that I don't necessarily like a straight boxy fit without any type of lengthening in the back.
Yeah.
And so I've learned, like with this one, when I made it 2 pieces, I made the back longer, and that's partly because I had experience with the other one,
right,
and figuring that out. So I think knitting other people's designs really helps when you're just making things up on your own.
That's true.
You can really draw from that.
You can. And sometimes it does sort of, I guess, stimulate your own creative flow.
Yeah, you can. You can say, oh, I like that idea or the concept, but I don't like how it was executed.
Right.
And I want to take it in a whole different way.
You think of a way where you're like, I think it would be better if I don't start off this way and I start doing this first, and then maybe you may want to do a provisional cast on instead of something else, because you may want to do your borders differently or your edging or your finishes differently. So that's what I like about it. So so my goal is more about me knitting garment pieces for myself, because that's not something I've ever done. And it's not like I've never done it because I'm afraid or anything like that. It's more like the only thing that made me stop and start is the time, because I feel like garment pieces are very time consuming. And there were some times throughout the year that I just didn't get a chance to knit. Like I spent all last summer not knitting. I spent an entire summer not knitting. So I wanted to change that. I wanted to make sure knitting was a part of my life every day. I'm laughing at the puppy.
Puppy's back.
So I wanted to make sure knitting was a part of my life every day, and because it should be. Okay, that's the key.
Some people stop knitting in the summer, but it's when I have more free time. So I enjoy summer knitting. I really enjoy the linen chain yarn. I have another t-shirt that I'll probably show next time. I'll probably wear it because it's nice and breezy and lightweight. And I like this one's cotton. I thoroughly enjoy summer knitting. I think I enjoy the process of wool a little bit more, but not enough to avoid summer knitting. Do you want to talk about anything else?
No.
I can't think of anything else.
I can't believe we don't have anything else to talk about. That's weird.
That's okay.
Okay. Okay, well, bye.
Bye. Say bye, Wookie. Hey, Knit Goodies podcast, take 3. We need one of those little things.
Yeah.
Right. Would you like to go first with the golden oldie?
Yeah, okay, so this is a golden goodie I have that
golden goodie, that's what we were calling it.